What's up everybody, man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla Minus One news and updates. That's right, before the release of Godzilla Minus One, I'm going to try my best to catch up on as much of the Minus One news as possible so that we are all ready to go when the movie comes out. Let's get things rolling. Please excuse that little guy in the back. I've had one heck of a day. That little guy is gonna try and help me heat this house up because I got no heating at the moment. Starting out, I want to jump into some art as per usual, and the first piece comes to us from AVGK04, and this is his Minus One poster. I just wanted to shout it out because I really liked the hand-drawn aesthetic. I always love seeing hand-drawn art. I think he's done a great job with this poster, and one thing that I really loved about it was, in addition to featuring the Ginza Waco clock tower, you also have all the people running down there at the bottom, which I thought was a fun detail because it kind of throws back to the early Showa era posters, especially the old Godzilla VHS art. So I wanted to shout this one out because I think there's a lot of great details in it and I love it. Another one that I wanted to shout out comes to us from Zeto, and this is his Godzilla the Ride meets Godzilla Minus One, and I don't know if they're trying to square off or do something else, but I like this. I like seeing the two designs face to face. It's a lot of fun because of course these are both designs created by director Takashi Yamazaki, who directed Godzilla Minus One, and these are his Godzillas, of course Minus One being an evolution of Godzilla the Ride. So I wanted to shout that out as well. Yamazaki did some shout outs of his own, and the person he shouted out was this little kid with his custom Godzilla. Director Takashi Yamazaki retweeted this video of this kid playing with his custom Godzilla, and it's adorable and I wanted to shout it out. Director Takashi Yamazaki received some Godzilla Minus One custom cookies, and these look delicious. I actually think that Godzilla Minus One has one of the most unique logos ever for a Godzilla movie because it's instantly recognizable as Minus One. That G is so stylish, and it's also so simplistic that I really like it. I think it can be applied to a lot of different things and always looks good when it is. In fact, I carved that as my pumpkin this year. When I carved pumpkins for Halloween, that's what I carved, was the G. Shout out to that. Yamazaki joked on Twitter stating the reason Minus One's spines are so large is so that he can take them out and throw them at buildings as weapons, which is ironic considering that was something I was highly speculative of during the lead up to the movie. If Godzilla was going to be able to fire his spines like projectiles, and it all stemmed from the fact that on the Godzilla model, the big statue, one single spine sticks out with this root that almost looks like a tooth's root that's about to fall out, and it made me think that Godzilla might be shedding spines or maybe launching them like projectiles. Minus One X Boat Race Hamanako is an event that will be held in Japan in January, so shout out to that, whatever that is. Godzilla Minus One is also crossing over with the Hibiya Shantra shopping mall, and we have a poster for it showing Godzilla standing at this mall. This is actually very close to the Hibiya Godzilla Square, which features the Shin Godzilla statue. Now, you might be curious, what was this crossover collaboration? And if I was to have done this video a little bit ago, I would have guessed that they would probably feature the statue and some merchandise. But I don't have to guess. I was there on the ground to do some reporting for you guys, and I want to give a huge shout out to Dai-chan Movie Room, because without Dai-chan, I would not have made it to this place. He's the one who took me. He showed me where it was. I didn't know where it was. He's the one who took me to it, showed me the Minus One statue. They had a big Godzilla poster on the outside of the mall. Inside the mall, they had a big Godzilla Minus One face. They also had the Godzilla statue, and then next door to the mall was the Toho Cinemas, which was selling Godzilla Minus One merchandise. There's a couple other Godzilla related things in this area, such as a Godzilla Heisei statue, the old original Heisei statue which used to stand in the Godzilla Square, and of course the Shin Godzilla statue. So I wanted to shout all of that out, but I have firsthand pictures and videos now, for once, of this statue. I finally got to see it in person, and it's as magnificent as you can imagine. I loved it. Arigato Dai-chan. Suntory Vending Machine X Godzilla collaboration was held. It featured exclusive goods, plus if you look on one of them, is this a new image of Godzilla? Have we talked about this image on the channel yet? This is Godzilla walking in the sun. He's out in the daylight. It's kind of in more of a field environment. We have an HD still of that as well. I've definitely used it on the channel before. I just wanted to mention it here. Jujutsu Kaisen had a Godzilla collaboration as well, with a very Minus One looking Godzilla. There was a merch announcement with all these stickers. There was also a Chibi Godzilla crossover over. Chibi Godzilla is very popular in Japan, so there's all the little designs for that. Godzilla Minus One shirts officially went on sale. There's a bunch of different shirts for the film. These are being sold through the Godzilla Store US, which is an online Godzilla store. And while some of the designs are pretty standard, I did want to shout out the really cool G with Godzilla sticking out of it. That's a sick shirt. I also love how the shirt isn't just plain white or black. It's kind of got these gray streaks and tie-dye on it. The one of the footprint is super cool. I think that one is such a slick shirt. I really like it. Something kind of fun about this weird meme format shirt is that Godzilla. And then the other ones are all pretty standard. Those went on sale so that you could order them by the time the movie comes out in the United States. Of course, you can still order them and you just won't get them in time for the movie, but you can still order them. This is not what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Cavity Colors Godzilla Minus One shirt. Shout out Cavity Colors. We'll talk about them, I'm sure, in a different video. The Giants x Godzilla collaboration game finally was played, and it featured Godzilla from the Heisei era. I like that. Chibi Godzilla, which is always cute, and Kamiki Ryonosuke, who appeared. Kamiki celebrated his time at the event and joked about being so much shorter than one of the players, and he actually got the first pitch for the game, which is fun. Sometimes they give the first pitch to Godzilla, sometimes they give the first bat to Godzilla, but it was fun to see them give the first pitch to Kamiki. Kaida Yuji and Nishikawa Shinji-san were slated to appear at the Hankyu Umeda main store 10F Umeda Soku to draw Godzilla Minus One and do an autograph session. They were selling prints during this as well. While I don't know Kaida Yuji, the two of them are part of the 3 Illustrators Circle, and Nishikawa Shinji and I worked together at Anime Matsuri 2023. In fact, Toho featured my photo of Nishikawa at Anime Matsuri 2023 in their announcement post. Leading up to the release of Godzilla Minus One in Japan, the director of Godzilla Minus One, Takashi Yamazaki, picked out a couple classic Godzilla films to screen in celebration leading up to the film. Previously, he had chosen Godzilla 1954 and Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, and now we found out that his third choice was going to be GMK. It was going to be a re-release of GMK featuring the director Sasuke Kaneko, who was going to appear, and the two of them did a little talk show before the movie. The GMK screening did happen. It was a big hit. Yamazaki revealed during this that GMK was a big influence, and the two directors even went on to talk about the event on Twitter, going back and forth. Yamazaki joking about how they actually talked more about GMK and Gamera 4 than they did Minus One, even though they were there to promote Minus One. And the director Sasuke Kaneko also confirmed that some of the scenes in Godzilla Minus One very closely mirror certain scenes in GMK, which is absolutely the truth. The fourth and final screening for these Godzilla re-releases was announced to be a black and white re-release of Shin Godzilla called the Orthochromatic version, and it was to be held in celebration of Minus One to release from October 28th to October 29th at select theaters in Japan. Hideaki Anno was the guest who was going to appear before the Shin Godzilla re-release, and the taped recording of him appearing was going to play before all of the orthochromatic versions of Shin Godzilla. Yamazaki then went on to tease the GMK and Shin Godzilla showings on Twitter, stating he was super excited about both of them. I'm very curious to know how that Shin Godzilla showing went over. If anybody was there to see it, please let me know. Did they just turn the movie black and white, or was there a little more nuance to it? I have no idea. How was it in black and white? Was it a lot of fun? I imagine it would be. Although that movie, personally, I think would play better in color just because of the purple and all the fun stuff that the colors do in that film. But that's fun because you got Shinji Higuchi to appear before Godzilla 1954 and now Hideaki Anno to appear in front of Shin Godzilla, so it came full circle in the end anyways. Minus One stars Kamiki Ryonosuke and Hamabe Miname did this little video announcing the first Godzilla of the Reiwa era, Godzilla Minus One. Go see it in theaters. It's kind of weird that they call it the first Godzilla of the Reiwa era. Shin Godzilla is part of that according to Toho. I mean, it's the first one released post the official announcement that this is the Reiwa era that we're in. Technically, although Toho doesn't want to consider Hollywood's Godzilla part of it, King of the Monsters has that title. Naoki Sato's Godzilla Minus One soundtrack was announced to be released on November 4th, and we got a OST poster for that. The Minus One track list was revealed. If you haven't heard the music, it is incredible. It is such an incredible soundtrack. Director Takashi Yamazaki went on to say that the score helped him a lot when making the movie. It's absolutely a brilliant score, and maybe if you guys are interested, I'll do a more official video diving into it, but Fear, Portent, Confusion, those songs all have this masterful suspense built into them. Fear in particular sounds like something that came out of Halloween Kills. The Godzilla Suite 1, 2, and 3 are all wonderful. I particularly like 1 and 2. Divine is a masterpiece. It is incredible and has so much power to it, along with Unscathed. And then there are other absolute bangers in there. Elegy has so much power and emphasis as well. That song is incredible. I really, really love that one. And all of the rest of them are really great as well, and they all bring something different to the soundtrack, which I really appreciate. Not all of them are doing the same thing, and it really works. The Godzilla Invasion truck was created to help hype up Godzilla Minus One. I'll show off some more official pictures of the thing finished in probably the next Minus One news and update, but this truck was created and it depicts Godzilla's head erupting out of the water, and it's so cool. It drove around Japan and just toured the country. It was originally built to show up at the premiere for Godzilla Minus One, which was held in Shinjuku, and then it just went on to tour Japan. In fact, the Godzilla invasion truck forecast was posted. This is a website you can go to see where and when the truck will land and when you can see it. Currently, it's hit most of its destinations, but before the tour is over from 11/29 to 12/1, the truck will be touring in Hokkaido. Anybody in the Hokkaido region, you can see the Godzilla forecast truck. I was fortunate enough to be in Shinjuku on one of the days it was in Shinjuku. By happenstance, without meaning to, it drove right past us. I was in a coffee shop mid-conversation, and I got so excited when I saw the truck on the street. I'd be like, come on, come on! And we had to run out there in the street, and I got this clip, like, last chance to see it as it was driving away. Really cool stuff. Godzilla Festival 2023 was announced. This was held in Hibiya on November 3rd. The festival, of course, is done to celebrate Godzilla Day, which is November 3rd, because that celebrates the anniversary of the 1954 Godzilla film. This year it was held in Hibiya around the Godzilla Square and that mall we were just talking about, coincidentally, with the screening of Takuya Yanishi's Godzilla vs. Megalon short film and a screening of Kazuhiro Nakagawa's Operation Jet Jaguar. These are both two incredible short films that both capture different sides of Godzilla. On the one hand, Operation Jet Jaguar is a throwback to the Suitmation days, whereas on the other hand, Godzilla vs. Megalon is a continuation of their CG stories that they've been doing with Gemstone that are always incredible to watch. Takashi Yamazaki was also a guest at Izakaya, where he was finally allowed to discuss spoilers about Godzilla Minus One. Yamazaki then went on to praise Yunishi's work on Godzilla vs. Megalon, celebrating how inventive it was. BTS photos of Hideaki Anno, Takashi Yamazaki, Kamiki Ryonosuke, and Minami Hamabe were released. These were taken right in front of Toho Studios. Of course, Anno actually was working around the same time with Hamabe on Shin Kamen Rider. This is the two of them in their early days garb in the movie. This is the stuff they wear in 1945 when the war just ended. Actually, this outfit that Hamabe is wearing is the first outfit we see Noriko wear in the movie itself, which is actually pretty fun, and they're all dirtied up and grimied up, which I love, and it was just great costume design, and so I wanted to shout that out. But I also think they're very cute photos, so shout out to that as well. Finally, The World of Director Takashi Yamazaki was a documentary all about, of course, the director Takashi Yamazaki, which was broadcast. In this documentary, we saw lots of material for Godzilla Minus One, and I'm going to quickly run through it. I think it's weird when people say that it's leaked footage from Minus One. It isn't leaked footage from Minus One. They put it out there on the public to promote the film. Anyways, we open with Yamazaki filming and directing the boardroom sequence of Minus One. The tank behind Yamazaki after the filming of the scene is actually very important to the plot of the movie, although I don't want to give too much away. I will say this is a small tank used for scientific demonstrations. We learn a little bit about Yamazaki's VFX process and see footage of the Yamazaki Museum exhibit opening up, as well as the Minus One announcement press conference which was held. We see a VFX skeleton of Godzilla, and then we see some shots of Yamazaki working on the film, showing Godzilla's full tail swing in action, as well as some of the destroyers in the film and such. There's a couple shots in this documentary showing the crew reviewing footage, including shots of Godzilla's attack on Ginza with him approaching the train near the Nippon Theater, as well as Godzilla being shot by heavy artillery when he's near the Ginza Waco building. After meeting Yamazaki's parents and being taken through his childhood, we see the exteriors for their filming of the boardroom sequence. These shots show a lot of people opening up the window to look at something in the courtyard below, and I'm not going to say what it is other than that it's another scientific demonstration, a proof of concept, if you will. We see the interior production design and then see them setting up the sequence, and then we move to the actual filming of the scene with this wonderful multicam setup. We're then taken into the VFX process and we see them building the shot of Godzilla's terror walk through Ginza before we get to the shot of Shikishima and Noriko looking up at Godzilla as he takes fire. Additional shots being developed show a destroyer taking on a big wave, Godzilla's tail swiping through the town, and some shots of Godzilla swimming, as well as some impact renders for the naval ship. We're then taken deep into Yamazaki's VFX and filmmaking past, and then we arrive at his VFX present to see the full development of the tail swing shot and the big assault on Godzilla. We then see the Shinsei Maru, a naval ship, and a bunch of Navy men running to the edge to look over the ship, which mirrors one of the opening shots of the 1954 film. We're then taken back into Yamazaki's life with the opening up of the museum exhibit featuring of Godzilla and an undersea mine, which wasn't very talked about but is actually very important to the film itself, considering lots of those are used in the movie. We're then brought through his Toho press conference which was held, and then we eventually arrive back at the studio to see shots of the Shinsei Maru speeding through the open ocean. We end by showing Yamazaki's hard work, dedication, and passion for filmmaking and VFX. How was all that? Was that a good one? It's been one heck of a day, so I don't know at this point. My eyes are shutting down and my brain is shutting down, so I'm gonna end it here. I want to give a huge thank you to my Patreon. I'm just gonna end it. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. If you want to go check out the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. more. By supporting the Patreon, you are directly supporting this channel and making sure that I can keep making videos like this for you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man out.